He was talking, apparently to someone, but I was afraid to go near enough to hear what he was saying. Least I might frighten him, and he should run off. Oh, hello. I was just reading in the dark. A real scary book, but not as scary as a world without Uncle Bubba's mailbox. Oh, hello there. I am Uncle Bubba, and this is my digital mailbox where you send me physical mail and I give you a digital response. For those of you joining us for the first time, you are right in time for episode number 9. And on this week's episode, we are going to take a little break from the usual, shall we say. Now, traditionally on the show, Uncle Bubba has been reacting to physical mail that he has been receiving from his wonderfully talented nieces and nephews, but a special occasion of sorts this week as Uncle Bubba has received digital mail, which is a first time for the show. But if there's one thing we've learned from all the previous 8 episodes, it's that sometimes we need to take a break from tradition. We need to carve out our own niche, create our own future. And that is why, for the first time ever, Uncle Bubba's episode 9 will be the digital response to the digital art. So let's head on over to Uncle Bubba's computer and have a look, shall we? We are here at the Uncle Bubba Digital Media Center as we will look at some of the great artwork I have received this week, right on the screen. Our first artwork comes from Katie. Now, Caitlin has contributed to the show on 2 occasions before. She has given us both such wonderfully colorful pictures of princesses as well as some delicious brownies. She is truly a master of mixed media, and she is going to show us again her contributions to the arts keep on growing. We have a lovely snow lady here. Hopefully this is in focus. She has beautiful eyelashes, something which is very difficult to do with the traditional snowman made out of snow. Katie here is showing us how you do that. She is using Play-Doh, I believe, and she is creating lovely eyelashes, a beautiful smile, such a lovely young lady, a beautiful red scarf, and a bathtub, which is a very unusual thing with a snow person. You would not think they would want to go into a bathtub unless it was freezing cold water, as water will cause them to melt, and that's not good. That will cause them to die. But what I think Caitlin is showing us here is that the lovely snow woman here, it's all part of the cycle of life. Water can be both used to, once it gets a little solid, it can be used to create art, create a snow lady, create a ice sculpture, but it can also be as a liquid form. It can be used to bathe, it can be used to drink. It's all about the wonderful cycle of life, and that's what Katie is saying. She sees all the beauty in the world, and she's trying to convey that to all of us, and she's doing an excellent job. Another view here, we can see the inside of the bathtub has these beautiful flowers on the inside. So this is not just a tub which is wonderfully decorated on the outside, but also on the inside. So whether you're outside or inside, you're enjoying the artwork. What more can you ever want? Next, Josh. I'm sure we all remember Josh was the contributor to the very first episode of Uncle Bubba's Mailbox, where he used a composition notebook to tell a very complex and compelling story that went a long time. It wasn't just merely picture after picture. It was a full story that he was telling. Let's see how Josh has used the new artwork to create his new art supplies to create new art. Okay, we have a mug right here, just like Uncle Bubba. Look at them. Practically the same thing. which I believe goes to show you the connection Josh and I have. We're that close that we both like mugs. We both like mugs, and his is perhaps even more beautiful than the one I purchased at Target. So not only is he creating something where I bought something, he's creating something superior. I expect nothing less than you, Josh. Nothing less. Next, this one. This one really has caught the eye of Uncle Bubba, not merely for the composition of it all. Now, we can see here is a blue line on the plate. So Josh just not only is using the Play-Doh, he's using the whole plate. He's using everything to create his artwork. And this line, it goes right with that line. He's creating a hyperbola with the two lines. So he's using mathematic principles in his artwork. Not that dissimilar from the way many Italian Renaissance artists used, the way Da Vinci used the golden ratio to create the Mona Lisa. Da Vinci, an artist who many compare Josh to, as far as his complexities and his artistic endeavors. And I think it is an unfair comparison to Josh, to be quite honest with you. We also have some lovely symmetry going on here on the top and the bottom. These snails with the very dark shapes on them. This one has a little more red and black. This one's a little more blue and red, but he's got them offset. So it's creating a lovely symmetry. This is basically just completely compelling and successful just on the composition of it alone. Compositionally, Josh is doing magnificent work here, let alone that he has crafted these 4 beautiful yet unique snails. What more can you ask for from this man? Next, Luke. Luke's first appearance on the show on episode 2 had audiences and critics alike proclaiming it to be apocalyptic. Luke is truly a bold and a daring artist who truly plays second fiddle to no one. Let's see what Luke has given us. In the foreground here, we have a lovely table with lovely blue coloring on it. It looks like this is perhaps a table made of marble, so obviously a very high-end and expensive table. More than likely someone very ritzy and rich and famous perhaps owns this table that they eat their dinner on. It is very high quality, just like Luke's artwork. In the background, perhaps this is an oven or a kiln that you would prepare the food that you're about to prepare on the table. So we are seeing meals in 2 different forms in one single image. Next, wow, this is a delicious looking image. This is obviously the food that will go on the table sometime in the near future. Just all the beautiful colors. This looked absolutely delicious, Luke. I have to say, if Uncle Bubba hadn't already eaten his dinner, my mouth would be watering with hunger, as this is both a lovely image that causes both admiration as well as hunger. Another image. Again, looks like the food is, perhaps this is an oven, and the food is now in the oven. It's cooking, it's getting hot, so we can eat it on our marble table. A little food on the side there. Maybe it just didn't fit in, or perhaps it was already cooked, and we are keeping it on the floor before we put it on the table. Hygienically, that is not recommended, but artistically, I see why Luke would want to take that liberty, and I'm very glad that he did. Next, Claire, the enigmatic master of compelling mysteries and avant-garde expression, someone who gives us more expression and passion than most would dare. Wow, right from the get-go, look at the shape she's creating. Look at the way she's bending the Play-Doh, how she's creating new shapes that may not have already existed before this. She's not creating something in nature. She's creating something from inside the heart. And look at this. Look at this shape here. This reminds me of some of the drawings in the first picture that Claire gave us on last week's show, on the first drawing she did. So she is telling us a very complete story, much the same way Josh does. She is using her different artworks to tell us a compelling story, perhaps an avant-garde and maybe even abstract story, but a compelling and passionate story. Nonetheless, I believe Claire is speaking of love and loss and hope and dreams, and she's doing a beautiful job of it. From a different angle, we are perhaps even able to see the scope and the scale even more. This wonderful piece of artwork is something to behold, something to ponder and pontificate about for many years, if not centuries to come. And that should wrap us up for this week's episode. It has been once again, a very fulfilling episode. Uncle Bubba just realized he does not have his trademark glasses on, but I believe that is all right, as I had already taken a glimpse of all the artwork before I compiled the slideshow, so I was very aware of what I was going to see. Next time on the show, I will be very diligent in my ensemble before I get started, as I do not want to come across as unprofessional, as I am looking at extremely professional artwork from some extremely professional artist. And I think that's going to wrap it up for this week. This has been a roller coaster of emotions for me. I went from highs to lows to everything in between. I thought of every aspect of life, and I can't wait to see what other artwork we get. So, till next time, folks, I may be an essential worker, but your letters are essential. To Uncle Bubba. Have a good night.